Meanwhile, the World Health Summit has started in Berlin. As a preeminent forum for addressing global health issues, the summit brings together key leaders and academics from civil society and the private sector to discuss the world's health challenges. And of course, this year the Ebola epidemic is obviously the main focus as the deadly virus continues to claim lives in West Africa. Well, for more details on the summit, we're joined by our correspondent Ira Spitzer in Berlin. Thanks for joining us, Ira. Just explain to us, how has the summit addressed the Ebola epidemic, and have experts found any effective way to try to curb the spread of the virus?
Well, one of the major focuses here at the World Health Summit has been the interconnectedness, the global interconnectedness of the world's healthcare systems. And on that note is that the focus of the global fight against Ebola still needs to be in the countries of West Africa that are hardest hit by the virus. Of course, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea have active outbreaks of Ebola. So one of the main ways to combat that is, of course, through aid, but actually through people on the ground, both medical personnel as well as civilians who can help with things like logistics and transportation. Also, an education campaign in Africa and around the rest of the world still remains important. There has been a lot of misinformation about Ebola, some panic, of course, very justified panic, but panic will not help people get the help that they need and will not help stop the spread of this virus. So that remains a focus here at the Health Summit. And then, of course, a medicinal response. Vaccines are in development. Also, some treatment options are in development. So there was a call here to fast track some of those things. If there is a medical solution to dealing with Ebola that is within sight, that solution needs to be brought to the table very quickly.
And Ira, at the summit, Germany's foreign minister called for international cooperation in the fight against Ebola. What more can you tell us on what was said?
Yeah, well, speaking yesterday at the opening of the summit, Germany's foreign minister, Frank-Walter Steinmeier, called for the EU to have a civil society response to the Ebola crisis and to band together, and that basically the efforts between the countries of the EU and also the world need to be coordinated. It's one thing to say, okay, we will provide such and such amount of aid, but to actually get that aid to the people on the ground requires some more planning and some more coordination. Speaking this morning at the conference, the Liberian ambassador to Germany, Ethel Davis, gave a very moving speech describing the situation in her country and just how bad it is there. And despite the fact that there is this tremendous focus on Ebola, that people there still are in many cases not getting the help they need, and also it's a terrified climate in West Africa. So again, at the World Health Summit, a major message is that the countries of the world need to work together to keep the focus on Africa, and that is the place where Ebola will be contained and help stop the spread throughout the world.
All right, Ira, thank you very much indeed for that comprehensive roundup of what's going on there at the World Health Summit.